Hey crafters, welcome into guyscrafttoo. My name is John and I hope that you have had an amazing weekend and that things are going your way. And so this is an opportunity for us to catch up and talk about what has happened all weekend here and see what is going on. It has been busy, crazy busy for us. We've had all kinds of things happening and all kinds of things going. And if you're a new subscriber to the channel, welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. Means a whole lot to us and we appreciate that. And so let's jump in and see all kinds of chat going on. Let's see if we can catch up on the chat. So Joydy was first tonight. Hey Joydy, thanks for joining this afternoon. Thanks for remembering Arizona, of course, doesn't change time, and I know you're probably tired of hearing that, but I know that makes it different for everybody else. I never change my time. We always stay at 4 o'clock, but because of the time change for the rest of the country, it does offset everything for an hour. So I appreciate you all being here and catching up with me. Runs with Quilts. Melissa's here. Hey, Melissa, welcome in. There's my buddy Danielle. Hey, Danielle, thanks for being here. Jackie's here. Hey, Jackie. Thanks for being on this afternoon. Balluna is my friend Mona down in Tucson. No telling where that lady is. She's always busy, always got a lot going on. And there's our new friend, Mr. Quilter from overseas. Now, I'm trying to think. I think it's New Zealand is where he's at. If you've not watched his channel, he has a very interesting channel. He's a new and upcoming YouTube creator, and he's put out some really good content. And if you hit exclamation point selfie, if you have a YouTube channel, it should pull up the link in the chat for everyone. He says, hello from the future Monday, everyone. How cool is that? Who else? Brendan. Yes, Brendan is Mr. Quilter's name. I have a story to tell you, not necessarily about him, but just about that. It was kind of funny. Hello everyone, Joydy. Jean's here. Hey Jean, welcome in. Katrina, thanks for being on this afternoon. Delia's here. Hey, welcome in. Thanks for being with us. Nikki's here. Maureen's here. Hey Maureen, how have you been? I swear, if you've been on the last few weeks and I just don't remember, but I swear it seems like it's been a while since I've seen your name pop up. So I am thrilled you're here. And Zazalita's here. I hope your surgery went well. I know exactly what you're talking about because I know someone that had the detached retina actually visiting us in Virginia and going through all the mountains and that. Ended up having it happen, then ended up having it happen a second time. So now they're very careful about elevation and all that kind of stuff. So hope you're doing well. I hope that recovery is going good for you. Judy's here. Hey, Judy, welcome in. Thanks for being here. 1 second. I wanted to drink a little Canada Dry, and for some reason that spewed everywhere when I opened it. Hey, Sherry, welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Zaza says, I'm home now. That is awesome. I don't know why I'm using my mouse. It won't move my iPad. What else? Cool, I think I've caught up. Oh, I love Sherry Cook. Hey, Sherry, welcome in. Thanks for being here. I love, she says, hi, Joyride. All right, so what was going on? So this weekend, we actually did some quilt shows. So I have some postings coming up of quilt shows in the area that we visited. So again, you know, we're really fortunate because we have so many quilt shops locally, all different sizes, all different collections. So none of them are necessarily the same, which really makes it nice for us. But and I don't always get into all the different quilt shops. There's one or two that I tend to frequent quite often, and then the others I just don't get to nearly as often. And then we had the quilt shows this weekend, and so it used to be Sun City Grand, and they dropped the Sun City piece of it, and now they call it the Grand. Is real close to us. It was the third Sun City in this area built. They dropped the Sun City piece because I believe they went to 45 and older, and so they're no longer a 55 plus community. So they dropped the grand, but the Grand Stitchers had what they called the Cactus Needle Quilters Show this weekend. They were celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, and that was over in the Grand. Interesting enough, they charge $7 for admissions, and it is one of the smaller shows in the area. It was a very nice show. We got to see some really talented people and some talented displays. They do not judge that show, so that show is not judged. So it was a little bit different going there today. So that was definitely fun to go see, and ran into some of our Quilt Guild members, and so always just a good time. Danya says, okay, I fell asleep on the couch with Chewy waiting for the live stream to start. See, maybe I just need to start that much earlier, right? But what else? Oh, so then Sun City also had their quilt show this weekend. So the original Sun City is right here in our area. Again, 10 or 15 minutes from our Sun City West. And Sun City is almost double our size. And in fact, I was really surprised when I got to the rec center that they used for their show, how far out it was. Very nice rec center, probably one of the newer updated ones for them, but it was called Quilters on Grand is their show. It ran yesterday and today. We went this morning because most people don't expect the quilt shows to be open at 9 a.m. on Sunday, which is what I anticipated, because I know we do ours at 9 a.m. on Sunday as well, and traffic was very, very light, and I know traffic can get very heavy and parking can get tight at some of the rec centers, so it was nice to sneak in and get that done this morning. Then we were able to go have brunch, but they actually had a boutique. They had a couple of vendors there, and then their show was actually on 2 floors, but we found some really cool quilts in that, and again, just talent. It was interesting, one of the ladies asked why we weren't members of their quilt guild, and I said, it's because we don't live in Sun City, we live in Sun City West, and she just laughed. I guess she anticipated we must be Sun City residents if we were showing up that early on a Sunday morning. But one of the quilts that they had was by Tilda, and it was called Bloomsville. It's Mango Garden Quilt Dove White. And when I get the posting up, I did take pictures of the quilt that was in the show, and then interesting enough, we were turning our cards in and talking to the lady as we were leaving, and I had made mention that this was one of my favorite quilts. I just thought it was so cool. It turns out it was her quilt, and so she was the one that told me it was a free pattern off Tilda and blah, blah, blah. So let me see if I can figure out how to make the cameras work so you all can see that. Maybe I can do it on this other camera. Still trying to figure out all the technology, guys. All right, so that's supposed to autofocus and make it so you all can see it. But it's basically the big parrots, right? And some of the backgrounds in that. It is, the pattern itself is 19 pages. So there's a lot to the pattern, and just the fabric selections. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. What does it have? It recommends 34 fabrics. I was like, really, guys? I don't know. What I'm actually thinking is this would really be cool to do with batiks. And I've not done a lot with batiks, but given the variety and all that in these birds and what they're looking for in that, I think would really be fun. I already have the Sew and Tell as my major project for this year that I spent way, way, way too much money on. So that will definitely be the focus. But I think this would be fun to work on, craft out. And if I just focus on a bird at a time and get that piece done, and then work on the accent balls or whatever that are around there, and then I can work on the leaves. So I think if I really break this down, I can make it so it won't be that big a shake. I was really kind of surprised it did not get recognized in the show. We actually voted for it And interesting enough, they have you have a viewer's choice by category. So that was different for me. I had not seen that. So, and again, guys, you know I'm new and I'm still trying to figure out a lot of things, but I thought that was kind of cool that they had the, that you could vote by category. So we definitely did see some really cool quilts and did have a really nice time getting to meet some of the folks that were there. Even better, 35th, who tends to be my go-to store, was the sponsor of their show. They had a booth set up. They had some machines and that there, along with some other things. Believe it or not, I bought nothing yesterday and I bought nothing today. But I am hoping to go next week and get the Harry Potter Burnett B79 machine, and they actually had it on demo at the show. So they have one in the box waiting for me over at our my typical go-to store. So I'm hoping if financially paydays and all that work out, that next Friday, Saturday, I can go pick that machine up, and then we will do a unboxing very soon of what that new machine looks like. It is a pretty machine. It does embroider and stitch beautifully because, again, it's a Bernina. And I'm not overly sold on Bernina. I don't dislike Bernina. Juki tends to be my go-to. We're back with Jake because Hercules, for some reason, had a hiccup and has an issue. So Hercules is going to the spa to figure out what's going on with him and get him fixed. Interesting enough, she had the DX 4000 at the show, but ours is headed to the shop because we did get to go in Saturday morning after the quilt show, and I was finally able to get the stuff I need to fix my long arm. And so that's a whole nother story in itself, and when I can talk about it in a more rational voice, we will talk about that at some point, but not anytime soon. So thanks, Mr. Quilter. So again, it's a Tilda pattern. So if it's something that you all want to do, it is out on the Tilda website. It is called Bloomsville Mango Garden. And so that itself just really kind of made it cool. And so jump over and grab that if you want to get that for free. All right, who else is here tonight? Hey, KD, thanks for being on this afternoon. Always fun to see you. Kathleen's here. Hey, Kathleen. Jackie, I think I already said hi to. Doesn't hurt to say hi 2 or 3 times. Oh, Melissa says they are very precise with fabric selection. Yeah, John's not going to be so precise. So, and again, it's an older pattern, right? I don't even know what the copyright on that pattern is. So, you know, it's not one of their newest patterns. Yeah, I don't see a date on here. Interesting. I don't see a copyright date on here. Yeah, tildasworld.com for free patterns and updates. And yeah, it's 34 fabrics. Just crazy. So, you know, again, we'll be doing it the way I want to do it. And like I said, I think it's going to be batiks. So I have no idea if those fabrics would even be available now. And again, that's not what I'm looking for. I want to do it John's way for a change. Katrina goes, I have to start on more baby quilts. You do a lot of baby quilts, girlfriend. I had 8 made, 4 girls and 4 boys. I have 2 boy and 1 girl baby quilts left, and it's only March. 5 have left my house since January. How crazy is that? Zaza said you did succumb to the Burnett. You know, it's too hard to pass up. It does stitch beautifully for embroidery and that. That's all I'm going to use. In the fact that I did start with Bernina machines, and I still have my Bernina 480, and then I had the 790, I think it was, and that's what I traded in on my Husqvarna Viking Epic 2. But I get Bernina. I understand how Bernina works in that, and the plan is just to leave that as an embroidery machine and not do anything else with it. Mr. Quilter says, oh my God, a Harry Potter. That will be awesome. I am so excited. I can't wait to get it. Jen, yes, the parts finally came in for, to fix Gracie. So the technician is supposed to finally show up tomorrow. It's been a long, ragged story. I am not a Grace fan. And we'll just leave it at that. But I'll never invest any additional dollars with Grace Company. They're just not a fan. Danielle says, I'd like to have it just for the Harry Potter theme and designs. Just cannot. No, I get it. I totally get it. And that's the only reason I'm buying the stupid thing, because the last thing I need is another machine. My partner even told me that I could get the machine, but then he asked me what machine I was going to sell. And you know, to be honest, I do have enough collection now. At some point, I wouldn't mind unloading some. I haven't even really got to play with Barney, my Singer 301, and I really would like to do some stitching on that. And I had planned to actually use Barney as maybe my travel machine, like when I go over to the quilt club and that. But I'll be honest, I don't like sewing there. I don't like our chairs. I don't like the way the table's set. A lot of the ladies put door wedges to prop their machines up in that. It's just not conducive to me. It's not a great sewing environment to be a quilt club in a quilt club room. And so I don't enjoy stitching in that there. I'm not going to, but I do plan using the new Harry Potter machine. Will probably be my travel machine, and that'll be the one that I take to machine embroidery. I don't mind doing machine embroidery there with the way the tables and that are set up, but I actually use my Husky tool table is what I keep the other Epic on to do my machine embroidery, because it's I can raise it. And so I have it lifted all the way up to actually give me more room. Brenda said I would love a Harry Potter machine. I bet, Brenda. Busy church members. Yes, it sounds like very, very. Zaza says all of Tilda patterns are free. I don't know. I don't remember ever going out on Tilda's site or anyone talking about Tilda much. So I did specifically go out and find this pattern, printed it, got it all ready. But I will go out and explore, because you know, the one thing we can never have is too many patterns, even though I have 4 file drawers full. I have actually, like this weekend at both shows, they had what I would consider more yard sales stuff. I think the difference is we bring materials and all that together for 18 months and actually build baskets out and sell everything through a basket system. Here they were selling everything through Ziploc bags, and it felt like more yard sale stuff, and it just wasn't. I just wasn't in the mood to sit there and kind of go through stuff and find it. And they actually had tons and tons of patterns for free. What I should have looked for is the dog pattern that I've been searching for forever, but I quit searching so much for that. The dog on my quilt, I think is the name of it, because Mona's now tasked with that, and I know at some point Mona will find it for me. So, because crazy enough, all the women that are in my quilt club so far that I've been able to ask, not one of them has that pattern. And they quit making it like 15, 20 years ago. And I have tried to find it on eBay. I've tried to find it on thrift books, different places, because I would like to own legitimately the pattern and that. And it, you know, it's not that complicated. Like I couldn't sit down and just figure it out if I wanted to, but who wants to do that? Hey, Jen, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Hey, Sally. Sally's back. Thanks for being on with us, Sally. We talked about you not being around much last week, and it was great that you ended up joining in, and so we are excited to have you back with me this week. Danielle says, I'm trying to type in here while Miss Luna Bell is playfully attacking my left long sleeve. There she goes. Hey, Lori, welcome in. Thanks for being on this afternoon with us. Katrina's here. Katrina says, busy. I've made 5 crochet baby Afghans. Wow. I still have the crochet sitting under my desk. They've just sent out the 3rd month, and I've yet to start the 1st month, but we will get there. Zaza says, sewing machines are like cars. We all have our favorites. I totally agree. You know, I have been through everything, right? I started with Bernina. I ended up going to Janome at some point. I ended up with, what else did I have? I've had Genomes, I've had Berninas, I've had the Vikings, and I ended up on the Jukies, and the Jukies what I was really happy with. I do really like piecing with Jake, and he's a straight stitch. And then at the end of the day, I really got to the point I was really enjoying Hercules and having a little bit more with him. Have no idea what happened, and so I'm not really happy with him right now. So I'm back to the standard Warhorse, right? So we will see. Hey Sharita, thanks for being here. She says first live with guyscrafttoo. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it so much, and we appreciate each and every one of you guys. It means so much to us. Sweet Granny's here. I haven't seen Sweet Granny for a while. Thanks for dropping in and being with us this afternoon. Tasha's here. Hey Tasha, welcome in. Who else? All right. Cool. All right, let me... So I did get some quilting done this week. I did finish this quilt, which turned out to be way bigger than I ever anticipated. I ended up realizing the blocks are cut just a little bit differently than I realized, and so that's fine, but this turned out to be a more of that mid-century Christmas quilt. So let me see if I can get that over here so you all can see what this turned out. This was a Villa Rosa pattern. It is one that I think I'm going to use for my grandson when I do his Christmas quilt, but it'll be with different fabrics. And so I'm really happy how this turned out. It is huge, and I put the pattern away so I don't remember the name of it, but I can certainly get that back out. But overall, I think this quilt turned out really nice. It's definitely probably a full-size quilt. And I had bought this fabric as a kit, and I bought this specifically because I liked this, all of this old mid-century look. So that now goes in the pile along with many, many, many others waiting to get on the long arm. But considering it is March and this is a Christmas quilt, I do stand a chance that he might be able to get caught up on the long. Well, we're not going to say that he'll ever get caught up on the long arm, because obviously I must piece faster than he can long arm, because at this point we're probably about 30 quilts back in trying to get caught up, and that's actually after I took 3 quilts to a long armer. But that's okay. So I did get this one done this week. I did get my quilts ready for the next show. So we do have the Arizona Quilt Guild show coming up, not next weekend, but the weekend after. That's a big show because it is a statewide show, and I have 2 quilts going in there. One is the machine embroidery Christmas train that I won an honorable mention ribbon. So I'm anxious to see how I do in that show. And then I'm entering the Sparkles and Stripes, that quilt for the 4th of July that I did. And their theme for their show this year is Independence and Celebrate America. So it just actually went right in. I also have been working on what they call pot holders. I don't necessarily call them pot holders, but that is what I have been working on this week. Where am I? Look how cute these are. They are really turning out cute. So this is the seated bunny with big floppy ears and that. So I did get these done. So I am sending those to my kids and that for Easter, since I'm not going East Coast for Easter this year. And then this is the other design that I chose to, and this is a Easter bunny popping out of an egg. So I've got 2 more of those to get done, and then a couple other things that I'm putting together. And then my partner is actually 3D printing. I should bring it in and show you sometime. We've been doing some of the Bath and Body Works holders, right? So I've got on my kitchen sink, I actually have the St. Patrick's gnome, of course. And so that's holding my Bath and Body Works soap. But in the guest bathroom, I actually have a big Winnie the Pooh with a honey pot in that. And so obviously we can't sell those because those are licensed, and Disney is brutal with their licensing. But at the end of the day, it's really, it is really, really super cute. So he is making another one of those for, Look at him being a good guy. Oh, you're going to get on camera before it's over with. He's tried so hard not to. Thank you. He's listening in the other room, so I have to make sure I say good things. And today was his birthday. So let's see, this way. So this is the St. Patrick's gnome. I just think these are adorable. And then he had done this one for my niece for her birthday. I think he was silly enough to do just the one, like I wasn't going to have one. And so he did this one as well. And so he's doing another one of those for the grandkids. So they'll have poo in their bathroom. So I think poo in the bathroom is just appropriate, right? So I think those are absolutely adorable. So he likes to do the 3D printer, and he works on the laser cutter and all that good stuff. Zaza says, cute fabrics in the Christmas quilt. Thank you. Oh, Sally got her pattern the other day. I'm planning on making it bigger. Laugh out loud. I'm just happy if you're going to go back and start doing some quilting, girl, because I know it's been a while since you've done some sewing. I know you've been doing a lot of, I think, crochet is what you've been focused on. Maureen's here. She says, beautiful quilt top. Thank you. Cute bunnies. Sally says, yeah, still crocheting, but I'll be hot soon. That'll put me away then quilting time. Yes, amen. Mona says, hi, Carl. Happy birthday. He's had a big birthday weekend. We went out for a special dinner last night. We went over to, next to us is Cortabella. They have a nice, more formal restaurant where you can make reservations and that. It's right on the golf course, right in the mountains, and that's just so beautiful. And Friday night is their, or Saturday night is their prime rib special. So we had prime rib in that last night, and that was fun. And we just had a good time. Zaza says, oh my God, those are too cute. I just need to look for those. Yeah, they're on. This is, I think 3D Infinity. If you email me, I'm be happy to tell you what, where the link is for those. We're actually going to put, like the gnomes and some of those will end up on our Etsy store because we did buy the commercial license from the developer. So we would be able to sell those. Just obviously I can't sell Disney stuff. Nobody owns that copyright. Who else? Look at all the happy birthdays. So thank you guys. He's been a great partner. I'm very fortunate to have him. So he takes pretty good care of me. Hey, Maureen, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Wow, Sally says she hasn't sewed since last May. Wow, that's crazy. I just can't imagine. All right. Oh, and by the way, the Christmas quilt is Tibet. That is the Christmas quilt. So if you're curious, that is the Villa Rosa pattern. I do have a couple of Villa Rosa patterns to give away tonight, but one of the things I did want to work on is the charm pack that I have started and I have yet to be able to get going. And so I am going to sew a little bit tonight. We'll see how well that goes. And then he is actually making dinner for us because he always makes dinner on Sunday night. And Joydy, I owe you some recipes. I know I do. And I will get those to you. But we're actually having Taco Bell Crunch Wraps again because we had so much of the stuff left over from making them. And it just made sense to go on and do another group of those. So that is what we're doing. I don't like how I did. Wow, I've got a lot of florals going in here in the center. Oh well, I'm not going to play with it now. All right, so let's get something sewn and going tonight. So this week is going to be crazy. I've got the technician coming tomorrow to work on the long arm, so hopefully that will get done and we will be able to finish the Tula quilt that has been in there now for almost 6 weeks. So I'm anxious to get that done. And then we have more stuff going on with that. Work has just been crazy, but that's okay. Trying to finalize what we're doing for the retreat in May. So Ray Steves is coming out to teach. He's got a jelly roll class that he teaches, and he's doing that on day 1 for us. Then he's turning around and doing a AccuQuilt pattern for us on the 2nd day. So the weekend is Thursday through Sunday. So Thursday, it's day 1, I guess, but by the time everyone arrives and gets situated in that, so he'll be out on Friday to do the jelly roll class, then back on Saturday to do the new AccuQuilt pattern. He is writing an AccuQuilt pattern specific. He has gotten really into AccuQuilt himself and has decided that he wants to convert some of his patterns over into the AccuQuilt line. And so he is going to put a pattern together specifically for our retreat in May. So that was pretty nice of him. We're excited about that. So that should be fun. All right, let's see what else is going on. I don't like how I had these all laid out and gone through and knew exactly what I wanted. And now I'm not so sure. But at this point, I'm just kind of sewing these because this is definitely going to be a charity quilt. It is one that I had started working on a while back. And again, this happened to be a Villa Rosa kit that I bought. If you're interested in Villa Rosa and in kits, I'll tell you that they have some of the best bargains on kits of anywhere that I've found. And so I ended up getting several from them. And that was like 2 years ago. So I haven't bought any kits from Villa Rosa for a while. But because of that, I have so much stacked up, so I just need to get it done. Yeah, there's Katie Crafts. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. So how are you all doing with the time change? Are y'all catching up? I mean, it always seems to me like the time change should really happen on Saturday and not Sunday, so you have Sunday to, or I guess should happen during Friday night, so you have all day Saturday and Sunday to try to get adjusted. Of course, I think it's always harder in the spring, right? Because you're springing forward versus falling backwards, but still, I'm really thrilled that we don't have to deal with that anymore. So, all right. It's just not, okay, we're just going to leave it the way it is. I keep thinking I'm going to fix this and turn this around, and not going to do it. I am just going to do this the way I want and be done with it. I think I do want to press those seams open though. So let's leave that stack there. This is this stack. Hey Ingrid, welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. I see that Russ just posted another shenanigans for next weekend. So if you all follow Russ, he's over on Quilt Meets World. He's usually on. He's not on tonight. But and if you haven't signed up for his shenanigans, anyone can sign up and get the email. You just need to hop over to his channel and drop him a note, and he will send you the links and the information for that shenanigans. And it's always a fun time. And they, I can tell you what, it is a lot of conversation going on over there. I did watch, yesterday I did catch a little bit of Katie over in Greenland, the Greenland quilter, and she had Becca. And of course, you know, if you get Becca, most of the time you get Ian. So it was fun to see the two of them. And well, I actually never saw Ian, heard Ian, but actually never saw Ian. And Becca was working on some cool projects like she always does. So I was able to catch them. I did catch Sean early Saturday. I usually can catch him. I ended up missing Danielle this weekend, and so I need to go back and watch her replay. And keep in mind, guys, if you miss our lives, you can always go back and watch the replays. And I can tell you, Danielle is very good, just like me. If you leave comments in that afterwards, we always go back and read the comments and what you all have to say in that, and it means a lot to us as creators, let me tell you, because sometimes you just wonder, am I just out here talking to myself? Am I not talking to myself? What is going on? So it's always good to know what folks are thinking or have going on themselves. I was going to tell you what pattern this is, but I don't have this pattern. It's a Villa Rosa pattern that I did. I've done this a couple of times. It's all done with a charm pack and then like a yard or 3/4 of a yard of fabric, but I don't have the pattern in here. I wonder what I did with it. But it's a pretty quick and simple pattern if you've got some charms that you just want to put together. I am doing this specifically knowing that it's going to be a donated quilt and trying to build that up. I do want to work with our veterans home here because we actually have a veterans home in Phoenix that is veterans run, run for veterans specifically, and so many of those just don't have real family anymore and ended up in that I'm not going to say state-run home. I don't know if it's state-run, who runs it, but just want to be able to give and help support our veterans in a lot of different ways, and plan to do a lot of patriotic quilts in that, but there's always so many people that just can use a nice quilt for a lot of different reasons, and enough charities reaching out, and that's one of the things we would like to do with guyscrafttoo, is try to hook up with more of some of the local charities in the area and help support them. Our guild itself does a really nice job. I know they take a lot of quilts down to the women's shelter in different places, and so that is always a fun thing. Not fun, not necessarily fun, but let's say heartwarming, right? So I don't want to use the wrong word, and y'all don't have to chastise me for that because that's not what I mean, but just does your heart good, right? To see folks that are appreciative of a quilt. And I'm fortunate, my family still enjoys getting quilts. They still like them. They still like the table runners. So at this point, I haven't burned them out yet. And I don't know that I will. My daughter's always been a pretty good proponent and supporter. And that's why I'm trying to do like the embroidery pot holders and some of those things, is to build up a variety and a difference. So just see how that goes. What time is it? 4:40, okay. We are doing good on time tonight. Ingrid says, I'm not a fan of the time chain, messes up my schedule and internal clock. Like I said, I am so thrilled that we don't have to deal with it anymore. And in fact, they quit doing it in Arizona in 1968. So I think it's crazy that back in 1968, which is what, 56 years ago, they stopped doing time change here. And mainly it was because what I've read, the reason they stopped doing it here is because, right, we want to give everyone that extra hour of sunshine, so it saves on electricity in that. Here it has just the opposite effect, because when you're 115 and 118 degrees in the summertime, the last thing we need to do is provide another hour of sunshine and all that. So that's why supposedly Arizona quit doing it, or at least that's the article I found in the newspaper. Judy says, my dogs are justified. They wake me up at 5 a.m. to go out, and they did it again this morning at 5 a.m. It is funny how animals they just adapt and adjust so easily sometimes. Katie says, I'm surprised at how many things don't set themselves. See, we're just the opposite. So when you look to set your time on computers and all that, you always have, right, Eastern, Eastern, Central, Mountain, Pacific, and then if you look, there's actually one that usually says Arizona or Phoenix, And so we have to grab that time and then also tell it not to make an adjustment. So just to ignore that. Sally goes, I feed Elliot around 3:30ish. He's been bugging me for a bit. He can tell time now. Just fed him. It is funny. Yeah, see, because we're on California time now, which is interesting, right? So, for half the year or whatever, we're on regular mountain time. And then when everybody else jumps around, we're basically on California time. So I feel like living out here on the West Coast and us as an East Coast country, I spend half my life converting time. I don't know if other folks in other countries, if you all have as much time conversion as we do, but I do feel like in the U.S. And I used to support facilities across the U.S. that were in all 4 time zones. And I can tell you nobody could ever remember what time it was when they called me. Brenda says the struggle is real. It feels odd talking to yourself in your studio when you're filming. I fully agree with that. It's just so funny, but the chat really does help. I will say that the chat makes all the difference, and at some point we'll have to see if we can't get Brendan to do a live with us and get him on the channel. I will tell you, I can tend to be a little loud, a little animated, a little excited, I guess, at times. He has the most relaxing voice, very calm. It's so soothing almost to listen to his YouTube videos. So again, jump over and check his channel out if you have not already. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Oh, that's right. I remember Zaza talking about your clocks change at a different time than ours do. So yes, you've got even the double whammy, right? So the U.S. and some countries, I guess, have already jumped ahead. You're still on what? Yeah, I just can't imagine. It's just like, I don't know what the benefit anymore is. Hey, Raven, thanks for being on again this week. It's good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. We always appreciate that so much. Brandon says, I made my first quilt in late 2025, started the channel in December, and just finished my second one. I am hooked. Tell you what, dude, you got to be careful. It's just amazing. I remember when I first started quilting, my problem was, I live in a community with all these quilters and all these women in that. And I remember how insane they were, right? Because they all had multiple machines. They all are working on multiple projects. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. You can only sew with one machine at a time. So no one ever needs more than one machine. And I'm a start to finish guy, right? So I can't have multiple projects going on. Everything, you start one project, you see it through. Once that's done, then you start your next one. And I have to say, most of the folks that I engaged with and talked to when I was first starting were just so polite, and they just smiled and nodded their head. So we won't talk about the fact that I have, 12 sewing machines now. I have a sit-down long arm. I have a computerized long arm. I have a 10-needle embroidery machine. We don't even want to talk about kits. At some point, when we finish out all the cameras, because we're having some issues with all the cameras, I will give you a full tour of the design studio. And for Joydy and Brian, which I haven't seen Brian tonight. And if I missed you, Brian, I am sorry, but I haven't seen you pop up tonight. And once we do the tours of the studio and all that, we will go back and open the 3 Tula drawers and talk about all the Tula stuff that John has managed to collect. I am very excited. I look across and I see the first Tula quilt I got done, which was on all jelly rolls. And so that was an interesting pattern. And that pattern was actually by Ray Steves. So it's the first pattern that I bought from him. And I ended up doing the Tula Pink with that because I had also done a Bahi pattern with, for the first time ever with, oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. Batiks, and it was one of the things he recommended for that pattern, and I happen to have the jelly roll that he recommended to go with that pattern, so I did grab that, and then I found the Tula one, so I did my first Tula with that, and then my Tula with all the animals, with my giraffes and lions and all those cool things. Got stuck on the long arm because that's when it broke down. And so I am very, very anxious to get that one off so we can get it going and showing what's going on. Hey JD Tucker, thanks for joining. So what's Quilting Shenanigans? Quilting Shenanigans is by Russ over on Quilt Meets World, and it's a live that he does for like 5 hours, 6 hours on Sunday, and you can drop in and sew for 30 minutes, sew for the entire time, drop in for 15 minutes, be on camera if you choose to be, and just chat live with a bunch of folks. And so I have joined the chat in that when there's been 6 folks live on there, as many as 15 at a time. So it's just an opportunity to quilt and work on whatever you want, but being able to actually chat live with folks. So it's always a fun time. Jody says, Brendan does beautiful work. I saw his first one. See? I tell you what, if you don't know, this is an amazing collection of quilters in that, and this is such a supportive group. And so that's one of the things I continue to say and will always say. Guys, I so appreciate all of you and the support that you bring to me and my channel here at guyscrafttoo. Sally goes, California voted to not change, but they still do. Yep, so does Florida. Florida voted 5 years ago, I think, maybe 6 years ago, not to change time anymore, but apparently it takes congressional approval, and no one would ever bring it up for a vote, which was just crazy. And again, I just hear every time you change times, you hear everybody complain about it, but you know, our elected representatives do what they do. They represent themselves and not us, so it's what it is. Zaza says her dogs have good internal clocks. Yeah, that's what I thought. Baluna says no, California is on Arizona time now. I'm good with that too. Katie says Colorado voted to not change, but it depends on a certain number of other states doing the same. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, Sally goes, time changes in the airline industry are not fun. So we won't even talk. I finally got all my reservations made for Myrtle Beach. I ended up using my American Air points to fly home from Myrtle Beach back to Phoenix, and was able to actually get upgraded to first class and all of that, and it didn't cost me a bundle of points. Had decided we would get to Myrtle Beach differently. Frontier is what we decided to fly going out. And fortunately, I'm just one of those that just keep looking and looking and looking before I book it, and realized that for some reason Frontier was telling me when we flew out on Saturday, we would land at 3:30 in Cleveland to make our 2:30 connection going to Myrtle Beach. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, that says that flight left an hour before we even land. And so I'm looking at it, and fortunately caught that it was a day plus 12-hour layover or something. I'm like, why would you even say that that's not, yeah, it doesn't even make sense. And so anyway, so we got rid of Frontier. Ended up, I found a really, really good deal on Delta. And by the time I talked to my partner to discuss it, to see if that's really what we wanted to do, the deal had went up like $300 on Delta. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like in 6 hours, the price went up that much. So we ended up back on American, which is fine. We're taking the red eye on American from here to Philly. I'm not a fan of the Philly airport. Plus, we have to change terminals in Philly. And then we will jump, it's about a 2-hour flight from Philly down to Myrtle Beach. And interesting enough, I found that there's a daytime link where you can rent different hotel rooms by the day. I thought you could only rent those in sketchy parts of town and for other activities, but apparently at some of these resorts and that you can actually get a day pass. And we're staying at a hotel right on the beach. We get the room from noon to 6. It's $65, but we have the bed, we have a place to take a shower, rest, and that, or we can just go out and walk on the beach and that if we want to. But pretty smart. And Courtyard Marriott, some of the Hilton Gardens. I mean, I was surprised at the hotels that allow sign up to do that. I had no idea that that was really a thing. So I was glad when I found that. Oh, Brenda says, stop, you're all making me blush. He's a good guy, telling you guys. Slowly switch him over. Yep. See, Sally says, of course we need more than one machine. Amen to that. I can't say anything. My partner has his laser cutter engraver. He has 2 3D printers. He has 2 other 3D printers that have yet to be brought in the house and get set up. And he's got some long story about that. And we won't talk about all the other little gadgets and toys that he has. Because if he mentions that he needs a tool, because I tend to say, oh, I'd really like to do X. Then he's like, well, if I had a table saw or if I had a jigsaw. So we've invested in a lot of tools for him too. And he doesn't count. So, right, it doesn't, it's not a competition. He's just trying to support what I want and to keep me happy. So, guys, let me tell you, that's a chore in itself. What else? Jody goes 12 machines. How did I not know that? I'll have to make a list of those at some point. Brenda says, I don't think my partner would allow. I don't know. I saw someone do an unboxing for a new Juki. So now I don't remember if you traded your other one in or if you add it. So now you have the 2 machines. But you're getting there. See, Judy goes, you just bring one in at a time and then you slowly bring it out. Yes. Believe me, they lose track after a while. They don't pay any attention. Just like fabric, if you keep all your fabric folded nice and have a bookshelf and you just slowly keep adding to it, they have no idea how much more fabric you've bought. So, and again, Jody knows all about the Tula drawer. Brendan says, well, I'm getting in my practice with sneaking more and more fabric into the house without being spotted. See? Does, I tell you what. Judy says, starts with fabric, then moves to machine. It really does. That's kind of crazy, guys. Sally goes, one thing about living alone, no issues with how many machines, fabric. My guy loves to fish, among other things, and he has lots of stuff. So we get it. Yeah, I will agree with also. I do like I did, especially on the East Coast. I always appreciated that it stayed light till 9 or 9:30 at night. I do just something about that, but tell you what, anymore I'm so lucky to make it to 9 o'clock that it's just kind of crazy. Sally goes, when you start adding up rods and lures, yeah. Let's face it, guys, any hobby is expensive, right? They're all kind of crazy now. Sally says, thanks for flying AA. It's hard to believe I've been retired 19 years. Oh my goodness, girlfriend. That is awesome. I typically fly American. I will say American's not my favorite, but American does tend to be my choice. My favorite always was US Air. I don't know what it is about US Air. There was just something about the old US Air, and I think it's not Americans' fault, right? I think it's just the way airlines are nowadays. So I do tend to fly American just because I've always had my, I've always kind of been associated with that group. But I do miss the old days of American or US Air, and I still remember my US Air number long before they became US Airways. I just liked US Air. Oh, Katrina goes, before I moved out, you could use the pool and shower and spend the day well over 40 years ago. Yeah, to me it just makes sense when you think about it, but I had no idea. Oh, he sewed the B35. I couldn't remember if you did because you had the Burnett. And interesting that you went from the Burnett to the Juki. But each machine does something different. Zaza says her husband's a terrible enabler, complains about how, but I get it. My partner's not even better, let me tell you. All right, guys, let's jump over. I have a couple of Villa Rosa patterns to give away tonight. We are giving away, let me see if I can make this work. I've got two, that work, of the Malaysia pattern. I really like this design. It finishes out, it's only a 48 by 48 design overall, so 48 by 48 inches, and you need a half yard, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 half yards of fabric to get this done. But I really like this pattern. I think it's kind of cool. Let me jump over to Nightbot, and let's see if we can get Nightbot. I need to have Nightbot working earlier. Come on. There it goes. Everything always goes to sleep on me before I can get going. All right, we will give 2 of these away. I will get those in the mail for you this week. If you hit exclamation point Villa, V-I-L-L-A. So V-I-L-L-A, Villa, will get you entered, and we'll give a couple of those away tonight. I have not done the Malaysia pattern. It is a 2023 pattern, and I think Pat Fryer was the designer on this. But and actually I just ordered a new stack of Villa Rosa patterns Friday, so hopefully they'll be here for our live next week. So, oh, Delia, it was good seeing you. Thanks for being here. Katie says she had her meetings as AA meetings and they thought she was an alcoholic. You know, things do happen, right? All right, let's see. Who else? And even if you're overseas, please put in, because it doesn't cost that much since these are just cards, right? Easy to get away. And then what else? You know, because our first holiday quilting bee, it won't be the first. Our first was Martin Luther, but our next one will be Memorial Day weekend. So it's hard to think that's still like 2 months away. And interesting enough, that's the weekend that we're doing our quilting retreat. So we're calling it the Kickoff to Summer Quilting Retreat. But again, it's Thursday through Sunday. So I will be here on Monday to figure that out. So that will work. I have to figure out what we're going to do for July 4th and Labor Day, because we do have stuff going on that weekend. And I do like doing the holiday quilting bees, but I will just have to figure out how to coordinate it all. All right, guys, let's choose the first winner, because we are coming up on the top of the hour, and that one is going to be Jen. Hey, Jen, congrats. And if you will, send me your send me your mailing address, please, at johnjohn at guyscrafttoo, and we will get that. I will get that in the mail for you this week. And let's go back over to Nightbot and choose the second winter. Melissa Runs with Quilts is a second winner. So I've got 2 patterns. We will get both those in the mail. Again, if you just jump over to John at guyscrafttoo, send me an email with your address. We will get those in the mail for you this week. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're a new subscriber, first time on the channel, I hope that you enjoyed this time together. We are live every Sunday at 4 o'clock. I am trying to get better about doing updates during the week. I typically post those Wednesday or Thursday. I've got a few other things coming up. I do have the quilt show tours coming out that I will have posted this week. I got those put together. I just need to finish the editing and get those out there for you. So I hope you all, the ones that are retired, are enjoying yourself and having an amazing time. For us bums that still have to work, hope you're ready for Monday morning, because ready or not, it is here, and we will be back hitting that grind tomorrow morning. But as always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and until next time, happy crafting.